Hey everybody, welcome to Mondays with Adam. Live on a Tuesday. It's fine. Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, and he didn't leave much to Ma and me. Just this old guitar and an empty bottle of booze. Now, I don't blame him cause he run and hid, but the meanest thing that he ever did was before he left, he went and named me Sue. Well, he must have thought that it was quite a joke, and it got a lot of laughs from a lot of folks. It seemed I had to fight my whole life through. Some gal would giggle and I'd get red, and some guy would laugh and I'd bust his head. I tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Sue. Well, I grew up quick and I grew up mean, and my fists got hard, my wits got keen. Roamed from town to town to hide my shame. But I made me a vow to the moon and stars that I'd search the honky-tonks and bars and kill that man that gave me that awful name. Gatlinburg in mid-July, I just hit town and my throat was dry. I thought I'd stop and have myself a brew at an old saloon on a street of mud. There at a table, dealing stud, sat the dirty mangy dog that named me Sue. Knew that snake was my own sweet dad from a worn-out picture that my mother had, and I knew its scar on his cheek and his evil eye. He was big and bent and gray and old, and I looked at him and my blood ran cold, and I said, "My name is Sue. How do you do? Now you gonna die." Yeah, that's what I told him. Well, I hit him hard right between the eyes and he went down. But to my surprise, he came up with a knife and cut off a piece of my ear. But I busted a chair right across his teeth, and we crashed through the wall and into the street, kicking and gouging in the mud and the blood and the beer. I tell you, I fought tougher men, but I really can't remember when. He kicked like a mule and he bit like a crocodile. I heard him laugh and then I heard him cuss, and he pulled for his gun and I pulled mine first. He stood there looking at me and I saw him smile. He said, "Son, this world is rough, and if a man's gonna make it, he's gotta be tough." And I knew I wouldn't be there to help you along. So I gave you that name and I said goodbye. I knew you'd have to get tough or die, and it's that name that helped to make you strong. He said, "Now you just fought one hell of a fight, and I know you hate me, and you got the right to kill me now, and I wouldn't blame you if you do. But you ought to thank me before I die for the gravel in your guts and the spit in your eye, 'cause I'm the son of a that named me Sue." What could I do? I got all choked up, I threw down my gun, called him my paw, and he called me a son, and come away with a different point of view. And now I think about him every now and then, every time I try and every time I win. And if I ever have a son, I think I'm gonna name him probably Bill, maybe George. Anything but Sue. Anything but Sue. Don't do that. Don't name him Sue. Well, it's 2024. You can name him whatever you want. You can name him a question mark if you wanted to. What a crazy, crazy world we live in. It's all good. How was your weekend? What'd you do? Did you do anything fun? I hope so. Saturday had an opportunity to see some friends I hadn't seen in a long time. That was great. And then Sunday, we went and played golf again. And let me tell you, I don't know if I played golf or if it played me, but the struggle was real terrible. I look like a freaking, sorry for cussing, I look like, I don't even know. I look like it was the first time I ever saw a golf club. And it was like the golf club was trying to attack me. That's what it looked like. The golf club was angry with me. I was swinging it was swinging at me. It was not good. Not good. Crazy weekend in the news. Joe Biden dropped out of the race. Who cares? Everybody knew that was coming. Just a matter of when. Now we've got cackling Kamala. with the beautiful laugh. We love her laugh. Her laugh would literally scare terrorists out of their caves. It is absolutely terrible. So we're gonna see how that goes. I'm not really looking forward to the next few months. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I'm just kind of over it already. Over it before it started. Let's see what else is going on in the news today. It's Tuesday. Usually I record this on Thursday. Mondays with Adam on Tuesdays and Thursdays seem to be the trend. Well, this is episode 37, which is crazy. I mean, I remember when I had the idea to start this thing, I was literally doing nothing, sitting at my computer one day and just kind of got done with a bunch of work and was like, you know what? I'm going to record a podcast. And I didn't even know what to call it. And it just happened to be Monday when I did that. And so I called it Mondays with Adam because that's how much thought and effort I put into it. But I've had fun with it. And as my career and as my other thing begin to shape up here, hopefully, praise the Lord, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, and as my new book comes out and as all the things begin to happen, my network gets increased, it's just something fun to have in the repertoire. Plus, it's like a creative outlet for me. You know, gives me something to do with my free time or something. I don't know. But a lot of you know me before the podcast. A lot of you have known me for years. Maybe you knew my mom and dad. Maybe you knew my grandparents. My grandparents, my grandfather in specific, he was in ministry, and he also had a radio show in Kokomo, Indiana. And he had such a great voice for radio. Deep, booming, stand up, say hallelujah, slap your mama, ask for forgiveness immediately thereafter. But such a great radio voice. And then my mom and dad and I, back I think in 2007 or 8-ish, we started a radio broadcast called Enjoy Today that played in the Cleveland market. We did that for about 7 or 8 months, I think. Had a good time with that, and you know, that was fun. I've always enjoyed being behind the microphone. They always told me I had a face for radio, and so I guess this is the new radio. This is the new radio. Who listens to the regular radio anymore? Not me. I don't remember the last time that I did. But some of you may know me from, you know, from growing up, or you may know me just from being out and about. But I figure I would answer some questions, you know, that people have asked me. That way, if you don't know me that well, maybe you get to know me a little bit more. Or if you do know me, maybe you get to learn something new about me you didn't know before. So I just picked some random questions that, you know, have been pressing on the hearts and minds of people for many years. And I'm just going to ask you, you know, I'll share those with you. I'm not going to ask you, you're going to ask me. I answer these questions, maybe get to know me a little bit better. All right. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why? Probably J.D. Rockefeller. I love early 1900s history, American history, like the Industrial Revolution. I love that era when Dale Carnegie, yeah, he was alive then too. Andrew Carnegie, J.P. Morgan, all the people, just the Vanderbilts, all those things, just it fascinate me. Just the amount of influence and of power and wealth that these individuals had, and how they kind of shaped America. Henry Ford, how they shaped America as we know it today, and became the leader of the world in the early 1900s. Such a really interesting time for me. So probably him, and I'd just love to pick his brain. He was the richest man ever in recorded history. I mean, we obviously there's some other people back in the biblical times, Solomon and some other ancient folks that had some coin up in their purse. But J.D. Rockefeller was one of the richest, I think probably the richest American that's ever lived. I think if you calculated his wealth at the time of his death to today's numbers, he was well worth over $385 billion. Can you imagine that? That's a lot. It's unimaginable amounts of money. All right, let's see. What is the weirdest thing that you've ever eaten and actually enjoyed? Well, let's see here. This is awkward. Probably sushi. Never been a big sushi person, but I've been trying to branch out. I'm not very picky. I like certain things more than others. I don't really have any kind of favorite food, I don't think, but I do like to try. I'll try stuff at least once. And some sushi that I've eaten looks like it just literally got scraped off the bottom of a shoe. And I had some a couple weeks ago, and it was actually not too bad. So that was probably the weirdest thing. I don't even remember what it was. I don't remember what kind of fish it was, but it was not my favorite. But it wasn't terrible. Let's see here. What's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done? I'm a spontaneous kind of person. I'll overthink things, but then when I overthink stupid things. But if major things, like major life decisions and choices, I just like move quickly. It's weird. I don't know if that's a good approach or not, but it tends to be my modus operandi. But I don't really know if I've done anything specifically spontaneous. This my whole life is kind of spontaneous. I don't know, there's a weird word. Spontaneous. That's the right way to say it. All right. What's one quirky habit that you have that many people do not know about? When I get nervous or if I have like pent up energy or something, I'll rub my hands together real fast, like I'm starting a fire. I don't know why I do it. Most people do it when they get cold or something. I just do it when I've just got a lot of gas in the tank. Sometimes I got to get that energy out. That's pretty weird. And another thing I'll do that's kind of strange, I'll take my fingers and I kind of flick my nose with it for some weird reason. To ask my family, they know all about that. It's very strange. Don't judge me. I heard you judging me over there. It's okay. If you could master one skill you don't have right now, what would it be? I'd probably try to master golf at the moment. That's a useless skill, but I'm trying to get good at that, kind of. I don't want to stink at that. I guess that's the right way to say it. I'm not trying to get good at it. I just don't want to be terrible at it. I just want to be better than the people that I'm around, which I don't think that's going to take that much. A couple more weeks, probably. Just joking. Let's see. Probably another one that's more serious. I would get more organized and more disciplined to follow like a set schedule. I think a lot of the things that I'm striving for are just right on the other side of just strategic discipline and organization and following through. I think I do good. I do good at it, but I could do better. All right. What is the best prank you've ever pulled or been a part of? I'm not a big prankster, like to other people, but I've had pranks pulled on me. When I was 21, I decided to get married. That wasn't the prank. But during my bachelor party, we went out to a group of guys, and we went to a steakhouse, and then we went to a buddy's house to play basketball and to go swimming. And after we got done swimming, these guys attacked me, broad daylight, wrapped me in industrial shrink wrap, threw me in the back of a van, and drove me a half hour and stuck me on a pole in a Giant Eagle parking lot, wrapped me around the pole, poured shaving cream all over me, and threw suckers at me and left. Because evidently, that if you get married, you are a sucker. That's hilarious. They did a great job. They're so funny. That stunk. I had to literally walk. I had to get employees to come out of Giant Eagle to cut me off the pole. So good job for them. They pranked me. They did a great thing there. All right. A couple more here. What's your favorite way to unwind after a long day? I like to sit outside. I'm that old man on the porch all of a sudden. I like to sit outside, and sometimes I'll smoke a cigar. Don't judge me again. But I'll smoke a tiny little cigar and just kind of chill out and relax. Just think about things and make phone calls and talk to my friends and try to become experts on everybody else's life and avoid the things that I need to fix. Just like a normal human. Let's see here. What's your go-to karaoke song? I sing a lot, obviously, this. Probably My Way by Frank Sinatra or Tennessee Whiskey. Anything Elvis, obviously, that. Frank Sinatra stuff, not all Frank stuff, but some Frank stuff. I think some Frank stuff is kind of stupid, but I'm more of a old school song guy. I don't like too much of the new stuff. I mean, I'll sing some country like Morgan Wallen, and sang some Zach Bryan last time I went karaoke. It was pretty okay. Let's see what else we got here. Are you enjoying this? Are you bored? It's fine. It's Mondays with Adam. What'd you expect? You're talking to me now. What's one piece of advice you'd give to your younger self? Now, this is a kid question. What's one piece of advice? I think when I was younger, I was really concerned about what other people thought about me. And so I would probably tell myself that it doesn't matter what people think about you, because they're going to think about you anyways. And one thing I learned too is that people don't really think about us as much as we think they do. They're worried about their own life and what's going on in their own world. And so I really am a firm believer that it's not, people aren't obsessed with us like we think so. So it doesn't really matter what people think about you, as long as you're doing everything you know to do. I mean, if you've hurt somebody, or if you've done something wrong, deal with it. But if they don't like you, they don't like you. Who cares? There's 8 billion people on planet Earth, and if they don't like you, it doesn't matter. So I would probably tell myself not to worry about what people think about me and just do what I want to do, what I feel is right for me to do, and realizing I don't need the approval of other people. And you don't either, by the way. You don't need to wait for everybody else's approval. They're not going to. And who cares if they do? Who cares? You don't need their blessing. You can just go do what you want to do. What's another piece of advice? I think it's a good question. I wouldn't let people walk all over me as much as I allowed it. I'm a firm believer, and if you've known me for any length of time, you've heard me say this before. We train people how to treat us. We let people know what they can get away with. So if they feel like they can take advantage of us or control us through whatever personality strategy they decide to enact, they'll do it. And so I feel like we should let people walk all over us. Stand up for yourself. And if somebody disagrees with what you have to say, you don't have to change your opinion. I mean, you can agree to disagree. You don't have to cow down to everybody else. Cow down. I don't even really know what that means, but I don't know. So that's a couple things there. There's some questions that you get to know me about. As my new book comes out, I keep saying that, and I'm just waiting for the publisher to do whatever they're doing. But in fact, this is an interesting thing that I did on my own. If you go to my website, adamloomis.online, on the homepage, if you scroll down a little bit, you can download a free copy of my book right now. I'm giving it away because I just really believe that it's going to help a lot of people, especially if you own a business or you have some sort of brand that you're trying to build. You really need to read it. It's really practical. It may be like things you already know, but it's good to be reminded of things that we already know sometimes. Yep, I think so. Thanks for listening, everybody. This song takes me back to my childhood. Do you remember this movie? Picture yourself looking at Kermit the Frog sitting on a boat in the middle of a lagoon, singing songs about rainbows. What's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, only illusions. Rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know their wrong, wait and see. Someday you'll find it, the rainbow connection, lovers, dreamers, and me. Welcome to the stage, everybody, the one and only Kermit the Frog, who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished upon the morning star. Somebody thought it, and that someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? What do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, lovers, dreamers, and me, all of us under its spell. We know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep? Have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that call the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, lovers, dreamers, and me. La da dee dee da 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 dee da dee da dee doo. That was my best Kermit the Frog impersonation. It was nice to have him at the studio today. Go on, give him a hand. Give Kermit the Frog a hand. No, that was a laugh. They messed that one up. Good job, guys. Do it the right way. There you go. And apologize to Kermit for laughing at him. That's rude. Hope everybody's doing well. You know, this is a good week. We got a whole week ahead of us, no matter what happened last week, no matter what you're going through, no matter how you're feeling right now. You know, just got to start changing them thoughts, turn them frowns upside down, and just go at it. I know the struggle can be real sometimes, but so can the victory. And we just got to stay focused and stay determined. And no matter what happens, we can do this. We can do this thing called life. Thank you for listening to Mondays with Adam. This is episode 37. I'll see you next week. God bless you. Bye-bye.